Hello and welcome to another Hierarchy game development update video. Recently I've been working on the AI Waypoint system that I hopefully intend to implement to generate and build series of waypoints that the in-game AI can utilize for a number of tasks. So, just to give you a quick overview, these small blue squares are the waypoints. As you can see, there's a couple of them scattered around. You may remember, if you watched an earlier video, I had a basic system where I just dropped them around, but now I do actually have a waypoint generator which can generate waypoints on the fly. It can even do it in the editor, which is a lot easier for development, I think, but should it need to be used, it can be used on the fly. So you can see there's a couple of settings here that we can change, such as the distance between each waypoint, the grid size in height and width, and also the chance of one not showing if you want to make the waypoints a little bit more random. In addition to that, you can also specify a layer mask to avoid. So in this instance I've chosen obstacle, which, as you can imagine, these big black boxes are obstacles. So it becomes quite useful if you don't want to put waypoints in areas that shouldn't really allow the AI to go there. Naturally, A-star pathfinding does so much of this for you anyway, but if you want to actually have some areas accessible, then you can still put the waypoints there and force the AI to go there. Anyway, to give you a quick show of how it works, we'll just play the game, and we'll be mainly using the scene view because I want to quickly move the camera around and keep our player out of it for now. So let's go, and if you watch, the first thing it does is it finds, at the moment it just randomly chooses a waypoint. It doesn't go to a specified one to begin with. That can be, hopefully in the future, a feature though. So for now, just go there, it finds all connected waypoints and it moves on. It finds out that it's no longer connected to any series of waypoints, so it says find me another group. As you can see, we've got a couple of singles, so it will just try and go to there, and when it gets there it will say, okay, do you have any other friends, any other waypoints nearby? And it will say no, so it'll say, okay, I'm going to go find another one then. So now it's gone and connected over here, and there's a couple of options for this one. It's not necessarily just going to run away straight away, and I'll just quickly pause. When it gets to a waypoint, it will obviously check against any previously visited waypoints as well, so as you can imagine, it will eventually go around the entire map where there would be structures of perhaps hundreds of these waypoints, and you don't want to start going back and forth on yourself. So I keep a active list of all the visited waypoints, and it eventually says, okay, well, I visited all of them, so I should probably start again. There are probably going to be a number of different features that I'll add eventually, which will determine how it reacts in those scenarios, but for now it's a matter of just getting some basic functionality going. So if we continue, it says, okay, I've got to my waypoint, let's go to another one. Goes there and there. You saw it quickly did that, and there it goes, and off, and it says, okay, well, I'm done here, no more waypoints to go to in this area. So because it's moving around to the other one now, if we just speed up the chase bot, when it gets there it's probably going to say it's run out of waypoints. So if you keep an eye on the log, no wait, here's one more. All possibles reached, clearing visited, at which point it then returns to another random one and begins the cycle again. And yeah, well, that's all there is for those waypoints. I was going to start saying about the rings around the unit. I've obviously touched on them before, but I'll just reduce this guy's speed and I'll go back onto it in terms of what is new. So if we just quickly skip over to the game view, you'll see the camera is now locked to the player. I've got all gizmos turned on so you can see what's going on. But there are two lines of different colours. One is just standard vision range, and obviously they're quite close together. Normally I imagine they wouldn't be, but there's vision range and attack range. So if I was to step into the vision range, it will try and pursue me. Whoop. See it, but at the moment it's quite busy. But in some instances, and now it says, oh, it can see me, and it will try and attack me if possible. Although my lovely AI, oh, there it goes, my lovely AI waypoint system is slowly building up to be somewhat conflictive of all of the other systems I've got in place. So a lot of refactoring is probably due, but for now I'll just utilise all the powers that I have and hopefully not get hit too much. So if we just have a look at the code now, if we just pause this for our Visual Studio, I'll show you the AI Waypoint system. So currently it's just inheriting from a mono behaviour. I've got a set of active materials, and it's quite simple really. Just choose next waypoint and get nearby waypoints and line to nearby. This system needs to be adjusted because the line render obviously can't handle that many lines, so it ends up leaving a lot of spaces in what would be a lovely grid. And in my AI movement, if I just go straight to the important part, you can see here where it says, okay, well I've got my current waypoint, let's choose the next one, and I pass in the visited waypoints list. I could do this check on this side, however, for now it's going to go there. The boolean represents whether it should forcefully choose a waypoint regardless, and it sets the active waypoint whenever it gets one. So it's all very basic at the moment. In terms of showing you what's there for the actual generator, if I just stop this, save this project, and if we go back to the scene view, I will open up, and you can see I've got a couple of clones there. Delete them in groups at the moment, and I've got my AI waypoints object, empty object there, and let's say we want a 15 by 15 0.5 chance. We'll avoid obstacle with a 8 distance between them, build, and there you can see we've got a nice set of waypoints now. Have all appeared. And if I bring those up, you can see it's quite a lot of waypoints there. It's very helpful for generating systems. Currently obviously it's quite random, but it would be nice to eventually get some sort of algorithm which will build circle based waypoints or perhaps routes through certain areas. But in terms of just making areas playable, if you would specify a selection of layer masks that you wanted to avoid, you could really just build up entire zones which would work separately from the standard A-star pathfinding for just moving around. So it's all coming along pretty well with more powers added. I'm probably going to work on finishing this system to at least get a basic implementation of it going, but in the meantime it's mainly working on the powers and trying to get all of the features in there together, because the player now moves around a lot more fluidly, can go to wherever it needs to go. Powers have cooldowns, as you can see in the logs now. That's the teleport power. I've got the standard throwing knife with an expiration on the projectile. I even have the homing missile, which doesn't quite work as I'd like it to, as it's a little bit faster than some of the units at the moment, but it's all coming along very nicely. But soon. I've also noticed that I have a collider issue with these waypoints, but it's all testing, it's all coming along well, so we'll just leave Mr. AI stuck up there on that waypoint, and thanks for watching.